Y'all, let me spill some serious tea about the Harvey family drama. You know how Steve Harvey's out here writing all these relationship advice books? Well, honey, the real person who should be giving lessons on securing the bag is Mrs. Marjorie Harvey herself. This woman found herself a wealthy man and held on tight, making sure her children and grandchildren would never have to worry about money again.
Pick Steve Harvey as the representative for all things black. Steve Harvey, let's keep this shit funky. Steve Harvey is on his third marriage. His third wife was mistress to his second wife. Yet, black people have anointed this the oracle when it comes to black dating. This nigga wrote a book on dating. You on your third wife, homie. With all respect, why can't we pick a that know what he's talking about?
Think about how quickly he moved forward from me to Marjorie. That was disturbing. With all the emails and the text messages and the different things that were that I was finding out about. I thought the least that he could do, make me whole at the end of it. He left. He just left, walked out the door. Once he realized that I was going to divorce him, he walked out the door. He had a shoulder bag. He walked out. Went right to New York, to our apartment that we had there, which I never got to see, by the way, and then she joined him there. Marjorie joined him there. Never an apology. Steve never said that he was sorry.
Now, seeing how Lori Harvey's been bouncing from man to man, people have been dying to know what kind of advice Mama Marjorie's been giving her daughter. But if you really want the dirt, you need to talk to Steve's ex-wife, Mary Lee. She's been exposing all the messy details about how she and Marjorie were fighting over Steve back in the day. And let me tell you, the way Marjorie played her cards, from the very beginning until she had Steve wrapped around her finger, buying her the finest things money could buy, shows that these two were absolutely made for each other. Here's the real tea. Steve basically used Mary Lee and his first wife, Marcia, as stepping stones until his career took off and the money started rolling in. And guess what? Marjorie was playing the exact same game from her end. Now let me tell you about Marjorie's past because, child, it is wild. From the time she was just 18, people in the streets were calling her Lady Heroin. And honey, I didn't make that up. Marjorie wasn't playing small games. She was out here targeting men who could give her the luxurious lifestyle she craved. We're talking fancy clothes, expensive restaurants, and lavish vacations. When she got with big-time dealer Jim Townsend, Marjorie knew exactly what she was doing. Even though Jim was married and told her straight up he didn't want any more kids, Marjorie had other plans. She stopped taking those birth control pills without telling him a word. Can you imagine his shock when she showed up one day, grinning from ear to ear with a baby on the way? While she was with Jim, Marjorie got herself tangled up in the Memphis drug scene, and that's when that Lady Heroin nickname really stuck. It got so bad she had to drop out of the University of Memphis. Her reputation was just too messy to handle, and just when she was pregnant with their second child, the feds came knocking on Jim's door. This time, they had receipts, solid evidence about Jim moving product, plus proof that his brother and Marjorie were involved in the whole operation. Jim ended up taking a plea deal to protect Marjorie and his brother.
Well, they did indict her because, I made a deal with them not to indict. You gotta be mindful. At this particular time that I got busted, if you want to call it get busted.
Okay.
They showed me, transactions between Marjorie and people that I knew they weren't lying. The people that, she had sold drugs to and blah, blah, blah. So anyway, she 8 months pregnant. we got a 5-year-old daughter, so there was no way whatever I could do to keep her from going to prison or being indicted. And see, I know how those feds.
Let me tell you what happened next. It's pure drama. After Jim got locked up, Marjorie didn't waste any time drying those tears and hunting for her next big fish. Word on the street is she might have even dated NBA player Todd Day, who helped her buy one of Jim's old clubs. But honey, that business venture flopped faster than a bad weave, and she had to sell it. But Marjorie wasn't single for long. She married one of the infamous Wood brothers, Darnell Woods, and they had little Lori together. But wouldn't you know it, the feds came looking for Darnell too. When they found evidence about his family's drug operation, he got shipped off to prison for 37 months. And Marjorie? Child, she wasn't about to sit around waiting for another convicted felon to come home. She filed those divorce papers faster than you can say next. Now listen, having 2 ex-cons as husbands isn't just some coincidence, but that's when Marjorie decided to switch up her game plan. She turned all her attention to that comedian who was always dressed like a pimp. When she finalized her divorce from Darnell in the early 2000s, Steve Harvey was literally everywhere. He was riding high off that Kings of Comedy success, and baby, the money was flowing. This was totally different from their first encounter when he was just some struggling comedian doing local shows. But getting into Steve's circle wasn't that simple. He was still married to Mary Lee. So what did Marjorie supposedly do? Started dating Steve's bodyguard? Big boom. Now between us, Steve wasn't even really her type. But when times got tough, Marjorie saw that green grass on Steve's side of the fence. She let things with Big Boom fade away and carefully positioned herself right in Steve's line of sight. Oh honey, she worked her magic and rekindled that old crush Steve had on her. While she was playing the happy mistress, Steve kept her well taken care of. Even when Mary Lee found out about her, Marjorie didn't back down one bit. Mary Lee knew she was fighting a losing battle, because let's be real, you can't steal a man who wants to be stolen. Steve was absolutely obsessed with Marjorie, and poor Mary Lee was the one who suffered. Once Marjorie became his main woman, Steve cut Mary Lee off completely and started those divorce proceedings. And let me tell you how bold Marjorie got. She would actually call Steve's house knowing Mary would answer, just to rub it in that she was with Steve and there wasn't a thing Mary could do about it.
I think he did see her as the best image for what he was trying to do, you see. And so, but who knows his mindset, you know, but because like I said, she ain't just that bright now, but she's shrewd.
But she ain't the brightest person in the room.
No, but she's shrewd. I got to give her that.
Okay.
And
And she was excellent at taking husbands.
Yeah, the record speaks for itself.
When they finally tied the knot, that's when Marjorie really took control. She convinced all her children, even the grown ones, to take Steve's last name, saying it would bring them better opportunities. She even persuaded Steve to get custody of his youngest son with Mary Lee. To this day, Mary hasn't been able to rebuild a proper relationship with her only child, Winton. Now Steve knew all about Marjorie's colorful past before they got together. Even with him being such a public figure, he started helping her clean up her image and settle those debts she had from her Memphis days. But child, people still love dragging Miss Marjorie. Let me share some of these savage comments. Someone said, "Sounds like she's been passed around way more than a collection plate. She's not a gold digger. She's one of the best cons I've ever seen." Another person wrote, "I'm glad someone is telling the truth about Marjorie. She acts so brand new as if she wasn't from the streets." Now people can understand why Lori is a round-the-way girl like her mama. And this one really spilled the tea. No matter what she wears, she can't cover up who she really is. But what do y'all think about Miss Marjorie? Is she just playing the game like everyone else? Or is she a real mastermind who strategically worked her way into a wealthy man's heart? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and don't you dare click away without hitting that like and subscribe button. I'll catch you in the next video. Bye.